Good afternoon, and welcome to GOA, and welcome to the 2012 CSI Interchange. I'm going to be spending the next 15 to 20 minutes talking about how we can improve our collaboration and work more effectively as partners. But before I do that, I thought it might be good to spend just a few minutes talking about the results of the CEO study that we released in May of 2012. I'm going to share just a few data points that I think puts in perspective what our mutual clients are looking for from us in terms of innovation. And then I also want to spend just a few moments talking about the trends in the IT services industry. And I think that will then position our discussion on how we can improve our collaboration to innovate. So the first thing I want to do is spend just a moment talking about the CEO study. We have done this study since 2004, and we do the study every 2 years. In this most recent study, we interviewed over 1,700 CEOs and public sector leaders around the world across multiple industries. Now, there's an entire report available, and if you'd like to see more detail from the study, your IBM team can certainly provide it with you. But I'm going to share just a couple of data points that I think are important as we talk about how we better collaborate. In this study, one of the questions that we asked these CEOs, and you'll see it at the bottom of this chart, what are the most important external forces that are impacting your organization over the next 3 to 5 years? And I think what's very interesting as you look at this study, in May of this year, the #1 external factor was technology. You might have expected it to be globalization, market conditions, economy, but as you can see, technology has continued to move up. When the CEOs were asked about why they answer this question this way, their responses were interesting, because what they're looking for is they think technology has the ability to improve collaboration with their employees, with their customers, and with their partners. The other data point that I thought was interesting in this study, there were 3 other data points that I will share with you since we don't have a lot of time right now to discuss it in more detail. But the other thing that the CEOs identified is that they want to empower their employees to collaborate. And in fact, 75% of the CEOs identified collaboration as the #1 leadership trait that they're looking for from their employees. The other thing about collaboration is they're looking for collaboration to drive innovation, not to collaborate just for collaboration's sake, but to drive what I'll refer to later as this radical innovation. The second other data point from this study is that we're also looking, the CEOs are looking at how they can better engage with their customers at an individual level. As we know, our customers and clients across all industries are interconnected, and they're looking for more service, they're looking for better products, and they have a lot of options available to them. So the other thing that CEOs identified is that 70% of the CEOs say that they want to connect with their customers in new and different ways. And it's not just having more insight into their color preferences or the type of products they prefer, but really understanding the patterns, their beliefs, how they think, so that they can better anticipate what their clients need. And these CEOs are going to need analytics, because as we all know, there's an abundance of customer data available. But what do you do with that data? And so clients are going to be looking to companies like yours to help them connect more effectively with their customers so they can anticipate their needs rather than responding after the fact. The third area that CEOs identified as a top priority was collaboration with external partners. Because in this economy that we live in today, where it's highly competitive, it's highly complex, CEOs realize that in order to compete in this new world, they need to better collaborate with their external partners. And that collaboration, as I said, follows through all the way through employees, with customers, and with partners. And I think there's a message here for us, as Carlos said, because we want to be essential to each other. so that we can drive real value to our mutual clients. We believe that CEOs and senior leadership across all industries around the world are looking for this radical innovation that I talked about. Because in order to gain competitive advantage, we need this radical innovation. And I think that's what we can do as partners, is deliver that radical innovation. And when I talk about radical innovation, it's not about incremental product improvements. It's not about these incremental changes, but how do you make radical innovation to define a new market, as Carlos referenced, or to define a new industry that maybe doesn't even exist today. The other point in the terms of services growth, and you'll hear about this over the next few days, that the major areas of growth for IT services are going to be around cloud, it's going to be around business analytics, it's going to be around mobility, and we're going to be talking about all of these topics over the next couple of days. We also have a lot of demonstrations of these solutions in the Solution Cafe, so I would encourage all of you to take the time to really understand our capabilities in terms of how we can help you deliver your services capabilities to your clients. We also know that clients, we're seeing a shift in buying behavior where clients cannot take the time to work or to have you deliver a long-term services project to them. So let's just say it's a major project that's going to take 3 years to implement. What clients are looking for now are proven solutions that they can deliver rapidly. Because now, many of our clients say that I can't wait 3 years, I'm going to lose my competitive advantage. So if you can meet 80% of my needs through a predefined solution that you have, then we can make adjustments on the other 20%. And I think that's a great area for us to collaborate in, as we can help you integrate our technologies and capabilities into your solutions and into your practices, so that you can deliver those solutions on a more timely and cost-effective manner. The other area we know is going to have a major disruption in IT services is in cloud. And I know there's a lot of hype, and you can debate where we are in the maturity cycle on cloud adoption. But we do know that this is going to have a major effect on the outsourcing industry. Because what we're seeing is that more and more clients are making more of a workload-based outsourcing decision rather than outsourcing the entire infrastructure. And when they make those decisions, they're going to look to you to help them make those decisions in terms of what is the workload, where can I best get that service? Do I buy it as a service from you? Do I buy it from a third party? Or do I host it myself? And so we think that there's going to be a major transition in terms of how those outsourcing decisions are going to be made based on the solution and how the service will be delivered. And then finally, I would just say that we also think that BPO services will continue to grow, and I think with cloud, it gives you the capability, if you've got BPO capability, how do you reach new markets? By maybe taking a subset of that BPO capability and delivering it through a cloud service. And I'm looking at the stopwatch and realize I think I'm almost out of time, so I'll keep moving, Carlos. Now let's talk about how we can better collaborate. I think over the next couple of days, you're going to have the opportunity to see the breadth of IBM's capabilities. And when you think about how we can engage with you, I think the first area to think about is how can we help you manage your client's environment more effectively? Something we'll refer to as smarter computing. And I know in just a moment you're going to hear more about Pure Systems as an example. We made the Pure Systems announcement back in April, and that really gives you the flexibility of a general purpose computer with the simplicity of an appliance tuned to the workload. And you'll also hear about many of our systems management capabilities that can help you more effectively manage your client's infrastructure. The second area is in the management of data. We've talked about how we have this abundance of data being generated. 80% of the data being created today is unstructured data. And so how do we make smarter use of that data? We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about our analytics capabilities and how you can shift from not just business intelligence, but really predictive analytics. We believe by 2015 that business analytics will be a $75 billion market. And from the CEO study, we know that CEOs want to learn more about their customers' business and want to be able to get insights into that data. And they're going to need services from companies like yours to be able to help them develop an analytic strategy and to help them understand how they can use that data for a competitive advantage. And then the final area that you'll hear us talk about is in the area of smarter solutions. On the previous chart, I talked about mobility as an example. Mobility is one of the highest growth areas for IT services. And if you go to the Solution Cafe, you'll be able to see our IBM WorkLight solutions, which offer you an end-to-end mobile capabilities. And we're also going to be talking about actual mobile application development. So if you have a practice on mobility as an example, we'd be delighted to work with you so you can understand how you can integrate these capabilities into your own mobile strategy. So at a very high level, I think we can work across these different areas, and I'll talk in a moment in terms of how we engage more specifically. Now, the next point I want to mention is that we want to make sure that when we engage with you, that we have clarity, trust, and honesty in the relationship. And as Carlos said, we certainly recognize that our IBM Services organization may at times be a competitor at a specific client engagement. But it is the intent and responsibility of the computer services industry team that supports all of you that we maintain high integrity in all our dealings with you. As you can see in this chart, it's our intent that all our interactions with you will be behind the firewall. And what that means is that any information we might learn about your company, about your solutions, about your specific customer engagement will be kept within the CSI team. We have a clear set of engagement guidelines that we ask our teams to review every year to ensure they understand the importance of this firewall. Because in order to have a strong relationship and partnership, we want to make sure that there's a high level of trust and integrity in that relationship. Now, there may be times where you will ask us to actually engage another IBM team if there's an opportunity to collaborate on a joint services engagement, but we'll only do that with mutual consent. If you tell us that, yes, I'd like you to go help facilitate a meeting with that team, we will do that. But I just think, I know many of you have had a long-standing relationship with IBM and understand this, but I also think it's important to know that we do reinforce this with our teams all the time because we value the relationship and we know for you to have trust in us that we must maintain the integrity of that relationship. Now, the other point I'd like to make is, so how do we bring you value? Because you've got a business strategy, you've got services practices, you have solutions that you're taking to your own clients, either at a cross-industry or at a particular industry. And one of the things that our CSI team is responsible for is we want to bring the best of IBM technology to you so that you can gain a competitive advantage by integrating that technology with your own services capabilities. We also want to make sure that you can deliver those solutions that are built on IBM technologies effectively, that you can deliver them on time with minimal risk and below budget. And as Carlos said, one of the things we want to do is we want to make sure that we're helping you build deep technical skills, we're helping you build capabilities so that you can successfully deploy and integrate those technologies into your own services. The other thing we want to make sure is that we have this dedicated IBM team working with you so that we can get you access to resources, whether that's access to our Montpellier Center that you'll hear about later, or whether it's access to technical resources, benchmarking information, sizing information. We want to make sure that you have access to those technical resources and that we have available around the world. And really what all of these things will help us do is then it helps us to innovate. Because as I've said earlier, it's all about innovation. And if we can help you integrate the technology successfully, make sure you have the skills and capabilities to deliver it, and you have the access to IBM technologies, and we're working in a relationship with high integrity and trust, then it helps you to deliver the innovation to your client. So I often get the question, so that all sounds great. So how do we actually execute on that? And I absolutely believe that we've got to have clarity on where and how we want to engage. Because when somebody asks me what makes for a successful alliance, I often say it's clarity and focus. Because too often we try to do too many things across too many areas. And so what I would suggest is that we have a very specific plan on how and where we're going to collaborate. We should prioritize it by solution area, by practice area, by technology, whatever makes sense for your particular company. And then once we identify those key focus areas, we develop a joint plan on exactly how we're going to go execute it. Because clarity of engagement and focused execution are the keys to success. Now, in closing, I would also like to say how much we value the relationship. And I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. I'd also like to thank you for being an IBM partner. And most importantly, I'd like to thank you for your business. It's really important to IBM, and it's important to us because, as you know, we live in a very complex world. And with all the innovation that's occurring in the world today, one company can't do it by themselves. And so it's going to take that collaboration to deliver the innovation that customers around the world are going to be looking for from us. And I also believe that more and more customers are going to be looking for that joint collaboration, because often they feel that they can get the best solution when they've got their partners collaborating to deliver a solution. So I'd like to again thank you for attending and look forward to talking to many of you and look forward to how we can collaborate more effectively in the future. Thank you.